What is up, noobs and noobettes? Charles or Tingley here, and welcome to episode 4 of Is It Actually Epic? This is a series where I review all the epic prototypes in Infinite Warfare, give you the pros and cons of each, the recommended class setup, and then answer the age-old question, is it worth you spending your hard-earned salvage or grinding out those mission teams to unlock this shit, man? I always enjoy making these episodes for you guys, and today we're going to be looking at the Mauler Sentinel. This is one of the new variants in the game, and there's definitely a couple of you that have wanted me to make this video, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so the Mauler Sentinel, here it is right here. Its first trait is Slicer. This basically changes it to a weapon that shoots 5 vertical bullets, and I'll show you it real quick here in front here. So as you can see here, when you shoot, it just shoots 5 bullets right on top of each other. And the further you get, the more these bullets spread. They don't just stay going in a straight line. And also, when you hip fire, the bullets are still in a vertical line, but obviously they're not as accurate. And then its second trait is Haste. This basically increases the overall movement speed when you're using this weapon. And that's pretty fucking awesome for the Mauler because it's definitely a run and gun LMG. Either way, that's enough blabbing about the weapon's traits. Let's move on to some pros and cons of it with some gameplay. Okay, so let's get it started with the pros of this weapon. So the first thing I wanted to mention was the fact that it can be a 2-shot kill. If you're able to hit all 5 bullets from each shot, you can kill the enemy in 2 bullets, and this pretty much puts it on par with the other Mauler prototype, which is called the Mammoth, which is also a 2-shot kill, except the Sentinel has a much faster fire rate, so it'll even outmelt the melt machine. And the next thing I wanted to mention is that this weapon has a great hip fire. Even though the bullets do spread more when you're hip firing, because you're usually hip firing when you're up close, you won't really notice it much, and you'll definitely notice yourself melting those motherfuckers. And the last thing, and this is the case for most of the LMGs, but this weapon has a very large clip, so you'll rarely notice yourself having to reload. And this is awesome, and you'll definitely notice it in the gameplay because you're able to take on multiple enemies, guys. You can take on 2, 3, even 4 enemies if you play your cards right, and you won't even have to reload. So that's pretty fucking awesome, and is definitely a big bonus to this weapon. I also wanted to mention that although the bullets do spread more and more the further you are, if you're able to aim onto the right side or the left side of the enemy, I usually found that the bottom 2 bullets, or at least one of them, would hit the enemy's legs, so you'll find yourself tagging more of those bullets and definitely noticing yourself killing them a lot easier, even at longer ranges. And I know what you're thinking. Tingley, you've been talking this weapon up so fucking much. Surely there's some shit things about it. And trust me guys, there definitely is. So the first thing I wanted to mention, obviously since the bullets do spread the further away you are, it definitely makes it a lot harder to kill people when you're far away because all your bullets won't be hitting, so you'll definitely notice yourself requiring more bullets when at range. And next, and this is definitely a big problem that I had with this weapon, and again it's building off the fact that the bullets are spreading over range, you'll definitely find it very difficult to kill people when they're a small target. What I mean by this is if they're proning, for example, or if they're head glitching or behind cover, if only some of their body is showing, because the bullets are spreading, it makes it a lot harder for you to hit most of those 5 bullets, and it'll pretty much mean you're getting a lot of hit markers. And the last thing I wanted to mention, and this is pretty much summarizing the first 2 things, and it's the fact that this weapon can be up to a 10-shot kill, guys. I don't know about you, man, but there is no way in hell you're going to be able to shoot 10 shots at someone without them realizing and without them finishing you off with their 4 to 5 shots. So this is definitely not a long range weapon. If you're someone that likes to sit back and play passively or pick people off at range, this is not the weapon for you. In fact, I would say this is probably the worst weapon in the game when it comes to long range, guys. Now let's move on to the recommended class setup. So you guys know the first attachment I'm going to recommend. It's always going to be quick draw, guys. I like using quick draw on all my weapons. It allows you to snap onto targets quicker, get that first shot in, and hopefully win that gunfight. And the next 2 attachments are completely your choice. For the first attachment, you should pick between either silencer or rifled barrel. I personally prefer silencer because it allows me to remain sneaky, constantly flank the enemy and keep catching people off guard, and also obviously you don't want to show up on that enemy's radar. And then the last attachment, you want to pick between either extended mags or laser sight. Hey, by all means, if you have enough slots, use both these motherfuckers, but I personally used extended mags, but I would definitely recommend laser sight to you guys if you like hip firing with this LMG. Extended mags would just allow you to spray for longer and not have to reload much, and laser sight would just make you a lot more lethal at close range. And that's it, guys. So now the question you've all been waiting for, should you spend your hard-earned 4,000 salvage on this thing? Well, guys, It honestly depends, man. It all comes down to what kind of a player you are. If you're someone that likes to run and gun a lot, you're always on the move, always getting into those close range to medium range engagements, then I would say this is probably one of the best weapons in the game for you. I would say the average shots it takes for this weapon to kill, if in the appropriate ranges, is usually 2 to 4 shots. So that is definitely on the higher end in terms of the best weapons in the game, and this gun will definitely suit you. On the other hand, if you're someone that likes to sit back, or you play a lot more passively and don't push as much, and you prefer to pick people off from range, then this is probably the worst weapon in the game for you to pick for that kind of playstyle, man. If you're only tagging 1 or 2 bullets of those 5 vertical shots, then it's going to take you anywhere from 5 to 10 shots to kill. And let's face it, guys, in a game like Call of Duty, you just don't have that amount of time, man. So on one hand, it's the greatest gun in the game if you know how to use it and stick to its appropriate ranges. And on the other hand, it's probably one of the worst weapons in the game when it comes to those longer ranges, guys. Either way, that's pretty much it for the Mauler Sentinel, man. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the gameplay as well as the tips I gave, as well as the review, of course. And yeah, guys, if you have a weapon you want me to do in the next episode, be sure to drop it below. I have some salvage to spend, and I'm definitely keen to try out some new weapons.
Target acquired.
So Tingly, is it actually epic? Well, at least for me, guys, it definitely is, man. You should definitely pick this up if you're a run and gun player. Either way, guys, that's all for the Mauler Sentinel. Really enjoyed making this episode, man. This is definitely one of my favorite variants in the game. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the gameplay as well as the tips I gave you all. If you have any idea of what weapon you'd like to see in the next episode, be sure to drop it in the comment section below, man. Definitely keen to try out some new weapons. So if there's one that you've been curious about, make sure you drop it in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this or found it useful in any way, be sure to drop a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe, man. There's going to be a lot of videos like this coming out in the near future, so definitely something to look forward to. Either way, guys, that's it for this vid. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. I'll catch you all in the next one. Until next time. Peace out, noobs.